What's up, guys? What's up, everybody? Okay, cancel. Go live. Go live. Okay. What's up, everybody? Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties at the moment. Hope you're doing okay. It's Tuesday. My name's Jake Howe. This is the Alliance blog. Trying to figure out what's going on here. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Lewis, what's going on? Prime? I'm good. I'm just having some tech issues, that's all. We try to go live on YouTube and on TikTok and on Twitch simultaneously, and sometimes that happens and sometimes it doesn't. What's up, Soto? I'm just trying to get the studio to work. What's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. What's up, everyone? Typically, I'm in my YouTube, or I'm in the TikTok studio here on the desktop, and it's not working. So I'm using my phone for the moment. If you guys want to hang out and chat with wrestling, I might have this thing up and running here in a minute or two. Yeah, Devin, it's because people love the fact that I look like Kevin Owens, apparently. That's why people like to chat with me, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, Lesh Tog, you saw me. Hey, Mr. Lizard, thanks for the rose. Appreciate that. Yeah, I just flew back in from DC, and boy, are my arms tired. Hey, ho, ho, hey. Yeah, you're bearded? Yeah. Well, we saw yeah, W, they just said that on TikTok too. It's I love it. It's great. Son of Hey, thanks for the heartbeat, Kenneth. I appreciate you. Soto, I can't hear you. Yeah, that wrong theme song. You're gonna get me canceled by the internet. They're gonna be like, this guy thinks he's Chris Benoit over here. You know, if I would have invited you, if I would have told you, you'd have been like, you have to invite me. And I'm like, that's not gonna happen. It's a plane ticket, you know, Soto, you know. Yeah, yeah. It was really cool to see. The whole moment was really beautiful, and I know a lot of people are out there hating on the finish of that match, but I genuinely thought it was one of the best moments in the WWE in a long time. It was very sentimental. I know a lot of fans were, you know, it pulled on the heartstrings. It pulled on the emotion of what was happening with John Cena when he tapped out, and it to me, it was the best way that he could have walked out of the WWE. He put over Gunther, he put over the sleeper hold, and people are like, well, he was smiling when he tapped out, and I think to me, the smile meant that he was genuinely happy with what was happening, right? Like he said, "Hey WWE, I've only got this many dates left. This is what I want to do." And they said, "Okay, cool." And they came up with a story to send him off, and his words were always, leave this place better than what you found it. And I feel like right now the WWE is operating at a much higher level than it's ever have before, and I feel like there are more future stars literally ready to go than there have ever been before. And we don't need John Cena to come back. I mean, we want to, right? Selfishly, like we love John Cena and everything he stood for, but realistically, we don't need John Cena to come back. He did what he needed to do. And I feel like that is why he left with a smile on his face. My hot take. You're muted. Yeah. I don't want to compare it to, but like, have you ever had, I mean, I've lost both my parents, right? And one of them happened pretty unexpectedly. The other one happened kind of, we knew it was coming. And in those final moments that I got to see my father, I'm not saying that he was at peace, but I think he knew that his time was coming. And in the same vein, and not to sound so dark and grim, but I kind of feel like Cena knew, like, this is it. This is my time. I don't have to fight anymore. They don't need me to fight anymore. I can let go. And that's kind of like poetically how I look at it. Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to make do here with my makeshift studio here, try to lift that camera up a bit. All right, well, that works. It sucks. I'm under the weather too, so every little thing pisses me off right now. I'm like, oh man, I got a runny nose, a sore throat. I'm losing my voice. I got the fan on, but it's hot. Sucks. Do you think it was do you think we got sick of GCW? They pack him in deep there. Me too. Me too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of LA. I grew up in the suburbs of Los Angeles near Long Beach, but I've lived most of my adult life in either the Inland Empire or Orange County, and I don't like LA County. Thanks, Eva. Eva, go ahead and drop a follow if you think I look like Kevin Owens. I dare you to. Yeah, I mean, look at I was watching your live on Saturday, laying in bed because I felt like shit, and I saw you get choked up, and I think that what's crazy is like everyone in the chat was like, "Me too, Soto," or "It's okay, Soto, I'm crying too," or "Who's chopping onions" and stuff like that. And I feel like that's when wrestling is at its best, is when it can just transcend just a match, just a fight, just a punch, just a kick. And if they can literally pull at your heartstrings and make you feel something, then I think that's when wrestling is at its finest. And in that moment when John Cena, like it looked like he was getting out of it. He's fighting back, and then the elbow and the elbow and the elbow, and you could tell that, like as a fan, we were all frustrated too, right? We're like, what's going on? And I feel like that's life sometimes, and I think we've all been there. It doesn't matter how hard we try. That sounds like a Linkin Park song. It doesn't matter how hard you try. Sometimes you're not going to win, and that's okay. And there's no such thing as a loss. It's just all about learning, right? But this was Cena's last moment, so he learned humility. He learned to be humble. He took the L. He tapped out, and Gunther is going to be a bigger star because of it. And it's okay to cry in that situation, man. I feel like, again, you're feeling something. They every actor, not actor, every participant in that match did their job, whether it be the referee, whether it be the wrestlers themselves, and even the audience. Everyone played that role to make that match so special and so unique. There'll never be another moment like that. Different reasons, and that's because you have, not like a personal relationship, but a pretty, you and Ray, and your love for Ray goes back a long time, and Ray has meant a lot to you, and I feel like Ray is going when Ray finally does retire, it is going to affect a large part of the community, but differently than John Cena. John Cena was Superman. But yeah, I think I'll be more sad when Ray retires than I was when John tapped out. Yeah. argue, arguably one of the best NWA World Champions of the modern era was Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. I have known Scrap Iron Adam Pearce for probably close to 20 years. And having watched him in the ring, I saw him win the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla World Championship. I saw him win the UPW World Championship. I never saw him win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, but I saw him lose it a couple of times. I saw him defend it a couple of times. And he did an entire documentary series called The 7 Levels of Hate, where him and Colt Cabana literally were trading the title back and forth between the territories. And eventually he was, the whole idea was he was leaving Active Pro Wrestling. That's not what he announced, but the whole point of it was that he was going to be leaving Active Pro Wrestling when the end of that feud was to happen. And it was still a few years after that series before he actually hung it up. But I was in the arena when he had his last match, and he took off his shoes and he gave that speech. And having known him on a personal level and know him on a professional level, he was one of the most important guests that I've had on my podcast over the years. It was a very fitting moment, and I understand that wealth of emotion that you feel when you see somebody that you have been connected to for such a long time. As pro wrestling fans, John Cena was the guy. I mean, even the kids now, they wanted to cheer for John Cena. Maybe it's because their dads were cheering for John Cena. Maybe it's because their moms were cheering for John Cena. But they wanted to be a part of that moment. And I feel like in the same way, like when our kids are grown, you know, they're going to look at Cody Rhodes the same way. When he goes, he's going to be like John Cena for a lot of the fans. And I just feel like we were very lucky to see that moment. And when they take those shoes off in the middle of the ring, it does hit, because you're like, wow, like that's it. And I joked around with you, or maybe I was actually serious, but I thought, look, if Saudi comes with a lot of money, I could see John Cena coming back, but maybe he won't. And if he doesn't, what better way to leave the state of pro wrestling than on top in front of a huge sold out audience? It wasn't a PLE. It wasn't a WrestleMania moment. It was on Saturday night's main event. It's on Peacock. You know, I feel like that was just the best way for him to go. And I didn't mean to bring it back to that, but yeah, I thought it was pretty phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, because look, we do know that I mean, at least it's rumored that he has signed or an ambassador deal with the WWE, which he's still going to be in some regards like the face of pro wrestling, just not an active wrestler anymore, just not a wrestler, period. And so there are still lots of things to be said, and of course that Hall of Fame, if it's not in 26, it'll be in 27 in Saudi Arabia, but I'm certain that he will be in the Hall of Fame sooner than later, and I'm sure that's when he's going to have that talk. Why? Okay, now that's a great segue. Like, why do you think he would be good at that position? The best entrance in wrestling, dude. Ahmed Johnson. Ahmed Johnson could walk so that Oba Femi could run. Good lord, that guy's a beast. Sorry, sorry. My only problem with John Cena, and it's not really even a problem, right? It's not a problem at all. but Hollywood is calling, and he I mean, part of the reason why he chose to step away from the ring is because he can't dedicate the time it would take to be a continuous in-ring performer. And he even said, my steps have slowed down. I can't do what I used to be able to do," which I think is, like, first of all, that's amazing that you could call yourself out and say, "Look, I'm just not the same guy I used to be." Like, wow. Like, that's something, right? But to throw that on top of that is he acknowledges that he's not who he was, but he's also got Hollywood coming. And and I know that's true for a lot of the WWE talents. Like Roman Reigns is in a new movie. CM Punk has been in some stuff, and even Cody in Street Fighter with Roman Reigns. I see that too, but honestly, I don't know if that's something Cena would be interested in. I mean, you're right. He does have a lot to give. He is a WWE produced wrestler. Like, he had a few little. He literally is the prototype. Then, now, and forever. He went to the WWE farm system. He was in a feeder fed, a promotion that literally was just trying to churn out talent that WWE might be interested in. Then he did the whole Ohio Valley stuff, and was literally it's funny because his name was Prototype, but he literally was the prototype for what pro wrestling and what the WWE was looking for. Batista, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, and I mean, you got to think about it. Batista could have been the guy, right? Haley just said, "Kind of rude you didn't tell me you were going to be in the audience at Saturday night's main event." Haley, that's the third time I've heard that in this chat. Technically fourth if we include our YouTube friends. Um, yeah, Batista could have been that guy, but he left early. Hollywood is calling. Randy Orton, it could still be that guy, right? Like, Randy Orton could still be around. Um, let's see who Shelton Benjamin. I don't think ever got a fair shake. To be quite honest, I think Shelton Benjamin should have been a much bigger star than he was. And Brock Lesnar literally transcended the sport too. I mean, he was able to parlay his WWE run into a run with New Japan Pro Wrestling, with a run in the UFC, and hell, he even had a tryout in the NFL. So, I mean, that guy tried to do everything that he could to parlay his run with the World Wrestling Entertainment to a run with sports in general. But yeah, I mean, it is crazy to think that John Cena was the guy who was there for all of it and was still able to continue that path. Bro, are you kidding me? I got the male rasp and everything. The wife's over here going, "Read me a bedtime story." Shaved his head. In Tyler We Trust. Are you familiar with the movie Fight Club? Oh man, go back and watch. Yeah, it's Scott Norton. Go back and watch it. Um, I think I said Scott Norton. It's Ed Norton. Go back and watch it. It is basically a movie about a guy who's going through some severe trauma, and the escapades that go with that. When he pulled the mask off, the first thing I thought of was Brad Pitt from Fight Club, Project Mayhem. And if anyone who's listening to this and is familiar with the movies, you're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, maybe I kind of see that too." Uh, the whole part of Fight Club was after they built an army, and then the army went and just caused chaos because the world is effed up. And I didn't know if that was the plan. I don't know what the plan is for Austin Theory. I don't know if he's part of the vision or if he's just, what his plan is. But to me, he looked like Tyler Durden and ready to just cause mayhem. And the fact that he interfered on Mysterio and he interfered on CM Punk and he's caused these problems, this chaos. I don't know what his mission is, and and I guess we won't know until he tells us, right? But you're good. I feel like it was too soon until we know the reasons why, right? Because that's the question now. Like, why? Why are we doing this? Why did this happen? But until I get the actual, like, this happened because this reason, like, hey, I was promised that I was the future of the WWE, and now I'm been relegated to the mid card, and you put me with this guy as a tag team guy, and I never wanted that. I wanted to be a star, and Paul Heyman's the only one that could see star value in me. I mean, whatever it is, whatever the promo is, but until we hear from him, it's just kind of like, I don't know, what's the point? Tell me explain the story to me, and then I can get excited about it. Maybe, maybe because it was CM Punk. Again, going back to Rey Mysterio, and you and I both love Rey Mysterio, and I think Rey Mysterio is the greatest luchador of all time. But right now in the WWE, he's kind of a mid card, right? Like they're not really putting him at any kind of push behind him. So for this masked guy to attack somebody who's not a champion or fighting for a title, it just kind of seemed lackluster. It almost seemed like he was doing the bidding for Paul Heyman, doing the bidding for Logan Paul, and just being a henchman. And if that's the case, then what is there to be excited about? If they would have done it at Survivor Series, right after costing CM Punk the match, or not the match, but the pinfall, I think that sets up everything else, and I think people would be more excited about that for sure. You have a theory on the Masked Man theory. Uh, our good friend Double D in the chat says, I have the idea that there's four masked men that keep randomly attacking. Mask guy wins the Rumble. Um, Look, I guess I haven't put a whole lot of thought into it. Like breaking up the Street Profit, I think is a bad idea, but it's weird because like the WWE hasn't really put an emphasis on the tag team situation, anyways. Oh, sorry, Double D had more to say. He said that it would be the four would be Theory, Ford, Hayes, and then Rollins as their manager. So it would be like a different group that would be, I guess, against the Vision. Um, so maybe that would be another wrinkle to the element. But again, until we get the promo from Austin Theory as to why, like we're just kind of like trying to figure out, what his purpose is. Is he aligned with the Vision? Is he a solo act? Could there be more masked men? I mean, I think these are all decent options. The whole masked man is a thing that they've done in wrestling forever, and it would be kind of neat if it was a faction. But again, I don't feel like the WWE puts a premium on tag team wrestling, and I kind of feel like that that has changed recently. I feel like they are, especially by having the Usos team back together, and now you have the Usos and the New Day, and then AJ Lee as a tag team on Raw. I feel like they might be putting more emphasis in the tag team division, but I feel like that's one of the weakest parts about the WWE is that there's some good tag teams, but I don't feel like they're using them in a proper way. I mean, you still over on SmackDown, you got the DIY, and you've got um, Fraxium, and you've got I know I'm leaving stuff out, but the Wyatt Six, the tag champions, there's things to happen there. What's I don't know. Tell me what. Street Profits. Okay, so there are good tag teams out there, but I don't feel like they're doing a lot to push the tag team agenda. And I almost wish like Raw and SmackDown would have a one single combined tag team division, and eliminate having the two sets of titles, because I don't feel like there's not enough emphasis put on the tag team champions as there are. Thanks for the gift, Penelope. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Hmm. Real quick, Double D says maybe hot take. This Maxine gimmick should have been with Sol Ruka. I think I wouldn't change anything about Sol Ruka. I think she's perfect, and I think Maxine does need this. She needs like a little bit of a. She needs something, right? And you can't play off the I'm a rookie and I'm a baby face and I'm still learning my craft. I really feel like what's important for Maxine Dupree is to build an edge to she's got to be more than just a vanilla baby face. And I feel like putting her with Natty, not Natalia, but putting her with Natty, I think is a very good way to uh, give her a mean streak. Now, if that turns into them becoming a tag team, great. If it becomes them feuding with one another, I'm also fine with that. I feel like Natty Neidhart definitely deserves a better position on the roster more than just enhancement. I feel like Natty should be like, Natty should be in the hunt for the Women's World Championship at all times. And she should be the girl, the gal, the woman who like everybody on the roster just hopes they don't piss off. Like, uh-oh, you got Natty mad. So like Maxine and her could really have a decent run as a tag team, and then maybe turning on one another later down the road. But I don't know. I kind of like the little bit of a mean streak for Maxine. I feel like that helps establish her as a character and moves her away from just I'm the baby face rookie, or I'm the vanilla baby face. Like, no, let's put some seasoning on her. Let's build her up as a performer, not just a wrestler, but a character. Double D said, "How about a female heart foundation?" I'd be all right with that. Who Double D? Who else would you put in that group? Brian says, "I wish they'd give Otis a singles run." I feel like they really wasted what they had with Otis when they first put him as a face, and like him and Mandy Rose back in the day. I feel like they should have done something with him then. Even like a short IC title run would have been something cool. And you know they've got this speed title that I know was like a Twitter championship, but I feel like they should be doing something with that. Like they should give somebody like Otis could benefit from having a title like that. It's kinda. I mean, it's represented on NXT. I like stuff like that makes me like scratch my head because it was never. It was intended to be a title just for Twitter, just for their matches on Twitter. And now they're not doing matches on Twitter anymore, but you still have YouTube. You still have there's a WWE official channel on right here on TikTok. They could be doing those matches on TikTok. I don't know. I always thought that they should bring back the 24/7 title, and that should be a title that's defended only on the social media apps. And it can be as ridiculous as it always was. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever. And just go live like in the middle of the night and they're in the hotel room wrestling for the title. I think that'd be hilarious. Yeah, I think I think it'd be a great way just to bring in some, casual fans into it. You start pumping content out on specific for the shorts, specific for, you know, people who are on TikTok and YouTube stories and meta reels and all that stuff. And it's short bursts of content. You get a whole story in like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And the more absurd, the better because it's just going to get people's attention. And if it's like, you know, besides the hardcore title in the WWE, there used to be a Japanese independent wrestling promotion. It's still around called DDT, and they had like a hardcore Iron Man title that was defended all the time, and they had the silliest things where you had disgraced former pro wrestler Joey Ryan was at a convention and a fan rolled him up and pinned him for the title, and they were the DDT champion for like 30 seconds until the next wrestler rolled that person up and then they became champion. Stuff like that to me, I know it's goofy, I know it's corny, but I think if you put that on the internet and you like Logan Paul's the 24/7 champion and then he gets pinned by like IO Speed or something stupid, something weird, I think people would be talking about that. It's funny. We are talking about John Cena earlier and the whole what he's done for the business, and we're talking about champions leaving the company with the title. That summer of Punk when he was going to walk away as world's heavyweight champion, I pitched this idea to local promoters in Southern California to reach out to the WWE and say like, hey, we have a wrestling show that has a TV audience. We could have a WWE World Title match here, and do it all with of course the WWE's blessing and all of that, and it'd be like Punk is defending the world title in Southern California at this no-name wrestling promotion, but check this out. I feel like it would have really furthered the storyline of him actually leaving the company, and I feel like that would have been beautiful. So like if somebody like Matt Cardona comes in and wins a title and then defends it in GCW or defends it at the NWA. It'd be great. I think that'd be hilarious. I think it'd be a fun run of something you could do just to grab eyeballs. Back in the day, they used to do that. They had there was a sanctioned WWE championship in New Japan, and it was like the WWF light heavyweight title for a long time. They even had the WWF judo or a judo championship. So it's not unheard of for them to have their titles in a different company. And I don't think it would hurt anybody either. But also, you have like, there's so many titles like not just on the main roster, but as a company as a whole. You've got the Evolve titles and the ID titles, and then the and then the NXT titles, and then the NXT tournament cups, and then the main brand titles. It's like there's so many championship belts. I wouldn't have a problem with one or two of them disappearing. We'll open them up now. Let's go. Drum roll, please. Hello from Oregon. What's up, Jesse? How you doing? I don't know if you're even still on here, but hi. Hey, everyone. Ross, you could tell me something. Go ahead. Series 1. All right. We are watching Soto619 open up his blind bag titles. Slap bands. Blind box. Woo! Just like John Cena. Ilya Dragunov. That's who is the U.S. champion currently. Let's go. Let's go. How much are they selling for on eBay? Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I'll be right back. Hold on. I'm here. Another US? Yeah! Yeah! Yes! 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 This just handed to me. I feel like you're disappointed. If anyone out there has a slap IC title, Soto will trade you 2 US titles for 1 IC title. Let's go. If anyone out there has it, if anyone has the Undertaker title out there, Soto will trade you 3 US titles for 1 Undertaker title. We're willing to deal in. I have none of them. All right. Vasage said, "Do you think another one of the masked men could be Jake Paul?" I really don't. I don't think. Hmm. Really? Yeah, my take on it is Jake Paul has showed almost zero interest in being a pro wrestler, right? Where Logan Paul, I don't know when the word came out that he wanted to be in pro wrestling, but I feel like Logan has been a perfect adaptation for a pro wrestler. He's not a worker. Let me just phrase that. He is a worker, not a pro wrestler. He's a sports entertainer. He works perfectly in this environment, but he's not going to win any best wrestler awards. You know what I mean? And Jake Paul, I feel like, is even less of an entertainer than Logan Paul. I'm not saying that he couldn't do it, but I don't feel like he's committed to doing it. And he's having fun doing his boxing stuff. Where I think that's his business. That's where he's at right now is boxing. So I feel like, I mean, anything is possible, right? And we could get Jake Paul and Logan Paul in a WWE ring at some point, maybe as a tag team. But I don't know, man. I don't feel it. I don't think it makes sense. And if my brand is boxing, I don't want to be associated with pro wrestling. You know what I mean? Like the same thing. If I'm a UFC fighter, I don't want to do pro wrestling because then there's all the questions about, well, isn't that fake? And aren't you doing fake entertainment and blah blah blah? Like, no, it's obviously it's different vessels, but just the way that I see it, I wouldn't want to do that. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Yeah, yeah, I could. I mean, again, I don't think that's what I would want to do, but I could see where that would make sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that because and that's the thing. Like in wrestling, we're so conditioned that we're gonna get an answer. In wrestling, we're always convinced that at some point everything will tie together, and I think it's better when it doesn't. Oh man, who's wait? I thought that the masked man was supposed to be Austin Theory, but now there's another masked guy on SmackDown. Is that also Austin Theory? And then it does turn out to be somebody else. I think that would be so fun, and then them never really giving you all the answers. And maybe during an Austin Theory match, a masked person interferes, and we're like, wait, what? What's going on? I think that'd be fun. I like it. I like it. Our friend Haley said she got two slap bracelets the other day and got the IC title and the women's title. So Haley, if you want to trade for a US title, okay. The Bay E. Double D says Austin Theory looks like Daniel Garcia now. I don't see it. I mean, I guess the short hair, but like his face looks different. And then Double D says my work HR person asked me if Gunther really made Cena tap out, like he didn't listen to the plans. It, you know, Gunther looked shocked when he found out that Cena tapped. Like he even asked the referee, he goes, "Did he tap?" And the referee's like, "Yeah, he tapped." And I'm wondering if maybe the plans were for Cena to pass out, and instead he's like, "Just tap it, just end it." Yeah, I think going going back full circle again, I think it ended the best way it could have, and I have no for me I have no problem with the way that it ended. And I agree. I think, and the thing is, don't make it obvious. Don't make anything obvious. I don't think there should be another wrestler to get the same reaction, the same treatment that John Cena got. You know, when John Cena retired, it was literally one of the faces of Mount Rushmore retiring. Undertaker didn't get it, Flair didn't get it, Stone Cold didn't get it, The Rock didn't get it. Technically, The Rock hasn't retired. Technically, Stone Cold hasn't retired. But I feel like the way that they do these things, like Cena deserved that moment. He should have had that moment, and I don't need anyone else getting that moment. You know what I mean? And so when AJ retires, it should just be something different altogether. That was never technically a retirement match, though. It was never. It wasn't billed as a retirement match. It was just a fight. Darius, go ahead. Which is great. Darius said, "I saw you on Peacock. Kevin Owens in the crowd." And Double D, thanks for the gifts. Those don't go unnoticed. I appreciate you. Yeah, I I heard you say that. You're like, I wish Jay was on to do his Dusty impressions. Like, nothing here, Daddy. It's hard times, Daddy. We'll work on it. You just gotta kind of put your tongue out. It's hard times, Daddy. I never. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say, and I think we're about to say the same thing. It's probably why Cody has the list. It probably inherited it from his dad. It must be. Better. If we're gonna go with angry Canadians, I'd prefer you to play this angry Canadian song. Yes. Yeah. So the weird thing is I just went live on YouTube, but I'm also live on my phone on YouTube. So I'm live, I think, on two different places on YouTube right now. Yeah, it says I'm live on both. That's weird. See, you got to pay to play, brother. Yeah, no, but there's two live videos right now. I see two. All right. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. You guys, I'll be right here. Yeah, man. But be good at the matches. Later, guys. See ya. Soto's dropping out, but we're going live right over here on the old. Oh, you guys hear the music now, huh? All right, we're in. Wrong. It's the NWA day. I'm live on my other YouTube channel right now. If you want to watch there, you can watch here. We're going to be talking NWA Pro Wrestling. But we're going to jump off here. So see you guys later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.